Hello, beautiful people. This is Freedom Fighter. Thank you for tuning into our channel, Goldilocks Global Banking News. Everybody knows that Goldilocks is the number one source for the RVGCR. People from around the world tune in to see what Goldilocks is sharing on the RVGCR. Don't miss your chance and get your latest updates every day. So like, share, and subscribe to this channel to get your daily podcast from the Goldilocks articles on the RVGCR. Brought to you by Freedom Fighter. Hey fine folks, this is Freedom Fighter, and today is Wednesday, September the 4th, 2024. I am your host of Goldilocks Global Banking News, your number one source for facts that you can vet yourself on the RVGCR, where over 100 countries are subscribed to this channel, tuning in to learn from Goldilocks what's happening with the RVGCR. Yes, Iraq. Yes, Vietnam is subscribed. Yes, India, South Korea, China, Venezuela. Many countries around the world are tuned in, and you are a part of this elite group. Folks, I had my morning discussions with Goldilocks to go over the articles presented, and they are amazing. There's a bombshell that Goldilocks is sharing as well. That particular information is in regards to Ripple and the technology that we need that will allow us to exchange our currencies in the new quantum financial system. That particular technology, believe it or not, Iraq already went live in April, but now we see the interlinking and the partnerships that are coming to light and connecting into the quantum financial system, like I said, for our eventual exchanges to occur. But first, we have some awesome news and information coming from Goldilocks, sharing the regulations needed that leads up to the eventual event for us to ultimately exchange. Let's jump right into it. What it is first is the purpose of anti-money laundering laws, AML, anti-money laundering laws. Folks, this is a key component to protect our money in the new financial system, to protect our exchanges, to protect our investments, anti-money laundering to prevent nefarious activities in the quantum financial system, to prevent anti-money laundering and terrorism financing within the quantum financial system. Can you imagine if terrorists and money laundering crime syndicates are able to penetrate the quantum financial system and your monies are in there on the blockchain? Well, these regulations coming out actually prevent that. So the purpose of anti-money laundering is to prevent the misuse of financial systems to launder criminal money, fund terrorism, or move funds for other illegal purposes. AML, which is anti-money laundering laws, also help to identify the source, volume, and movement of currency and other monetary instruments. Today, the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, Anti-Money Laundering and Countering the Financing of Terrorism program, what they did was they published on the Federal Register new regulations. Remember, for those of you who've been following, we're seeing these new regulations and new rules being documented into the Federal Register for as law. What this means is that going forward, financial institutions that launder money is going to be watched and prosecuted. It has an effective date of January 1st, 2026, but they will be watching going forward as the digital economy begins to integrate this mechanism inside the new global assets, interfacing themselves into one large quantum financial system. Don't look at the January 1st, 2026 date as a date that you have to wait to exchange. No, get that out of your mind. Stop it. This is just a date that all financial institutions are mandated to implement these rules. However, they're already in motion in all, if not majority of all, the financial institutions, including Iraq, who has already completed these rules. Goldilocks continues. The registration codes for this final rule is here below. The implementation comes after a final rule. This registered set of rules will now be used in the integration of the new anti-money laundering laws going forward. The link will be in the description. So this is under the Department of the Treasury Financial Crimes Enforcement Network. Yes, the Department of Treasury, as I've said, is the king of the global currency reset. All of the laws, regulations, rules, tax gains, and also losses for currency exchanges, the digital and paper currency rules, regulations, the precious metals guidance, rules, and regulations, all under the umbrella of the Department of Treasury. And with the nationalizing of the Fed, also will be as well under the Department of Treasury. Goldilocks continues. There are a long list of institutions that this will affect, where history has shown the AML, or the anti-money laundering activity, but this resolution reaches into every financial institution that handles money. It doesn't matter what institution, if it's a bank, if it's a currency exchange center, if it's a credit union, no matter what it is. These anti-money laundering, this is the protection, folks, that we've been waiting for to protect our monies in the new financial system. This is the Federal Register where these rules are enforced and documented into the law books in the United States. I'm going to continue. Goldilocks continues. I am aware that the use of CBDCs, which are folks, some folks hear CBDCs, they've heard, oh my God, they're bad. Yes, privacy issues. But however, there are efforts to help protect the privacy. For those that don't know, CBDCs stand for central bank digital currencies. CBDCs are an ongoing concern for most people who are reading about the new digital financial system. But we must be aware that giving up on this goal from the federal level is appearing to be not an option. So we can stick our heads in the sand and let it happen to us, or be aware of what is taking place and take steps to minimize the effects. Some people are buying gold, silver, land, and more to minimize these effects in specific decentralized cryptocurrency. So what Goldilocks is saying, if you want to safeguard your money in the new quantum financial system, having a concern about CBDCs and privacy, what if a way to avoid any issues in that regard is to invest in gold, silver, land? Think about it. All you have to do is go to a search engine and ask for decentralized list of cryptocurrency. Goldilocks actually shares a link below. It's going to be in the description. Currently, this is what's taking place. Apart from the collection of data, privacy risks come from external events such as data leakages. Remember some of the leakages from different banks to people's bank accounts? Data abuses, cyber attacks, and cross-border payments, data flows. Here is the proposed framework by the IMF regarding the adoption of a three-step approach. Number one, define data use cases. Number two, identify risks to privacy. 3, implement privacy by design and privacy enhancing technologies. So the IMF is exploring how to address the privacy issues pertaining to CBDCs. Then Goldilocks shares from the Federal Register. Here we are with rules that apply to our currency exchanges and to our new financial system. The SEC, Securities and Exchange Commission. Remember. What has the dinar and other currencies registered as of May the 31st, 2024? The Iraqi dinar has been registered as a security with the Securities and Exchange Commission and all other currencies as well. So when you hear the SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission, it absolutely applies to the currencies that we hold. It absolutely applies to digital currencies as well as which are cryptocurrencies. It applies to precious metals such as gold and silver and other commodities that will back our paper currencies and protect the stability and the value in the quantum financial system. This is very important. Pay attention what I'm about to share with you about Goldilocks. The clearing agency framework is a set of guidelines for how the Fixed Income Clearing Corporation and its affiliates, the Depository Trust Company, and the National Securities Clearing Corporation. Folks, our currencies, our paper currencies, also fall under the FICC, which is the Fixed Income Clearing Corporation. Paper currencies fall under this, and these are new guidelines being set into motion to protect us. Governance and conflicts of interest. The framework outlines how the clearing agencies and their board of directors comply with certain requirements. Now you may think to yourself, this sounds technical. Let me help you. What you must realize in clearing agencies, when we exchange our currencies, when you go to exchange your dinar, when you go to exchange your dong, or any of the currencies, they have to be cleared. They go through a digital clearing house. It's all inside of the banking system. You won't see it with the naked eye. It's all behind the scenes. It's always been there. So the Fixed Income Clearing Corporation, the Depository Trust Company, you deposit money, it has to clear your bank. When you withdraw money, it has already been cleared by the depository company. When you exchange your currency, it has to be cleared from one side of the transaction to another. And we're going to get into that here shortly with Iraq and the Ripple connection that is just now being implemented or being talked about. Now, the risk management, the annual assessment, also for clearing money in the banking system. I won't have to go into details, just know that there is on December the 5th, subject to approval by the Commission, the clearing agencies will implement the new proposed rules, the new proposed rule changes on December the 5th. Now, there's a specific rule, Rule 17 AD 25, that's related to our foreign currencies. It basically outlines the standards for governing agencies who clear national assets from one country to the other, such as foreign currencies. So one country may be the US, and you're exchanging the dinar for the US dollar. It needs to clear because it's country to country. You may be exchanging the dong for US dollars or any other currency for US dollars. These are new standards, and these new standards will ensure quality control in the movement of money cross borders from those who have the ability to govern these new protocols. These new protocols are being interconnected into the banking system, into the quantum financial system, and effective as new rules, new implemented rules on December the 5th to protect our assets, our money, our exchanges in the quantum financial system. These are new protocols going into law, registered into and documented into the Federal Register. This new rule, 17 AD, outlines the standards for governing agencies who clear transactions country to country, such as foreign currency exchanges. These are the protection mechanisms in the quantum financial system, folks, that is going live. The new rules go live and into effect on December the 5th to clear and protect, to make sure on one side of the exchange to the other, our money is protected. And this is connected to what I'm going to share with you next, which is the bombshell coming from Ripple that Goldilocks is sharing, related to our exchanges, and definitely related to Iraq and what are called smart contracts. This is an announcement. Ripple is interfacing smart contracts onto the XRP ledger. Okay, I'm sure many of those who are listening to this, you know that the way that our money, our paper currencies, our digital cryptocurrencies, precious metals, they will move through the new quantum financial system in a digital format by way of the Ripple network and XRP, moving cross-border our paper currencies so that we're allowed and we're enabled to exchange our currencies. Now, smart contracts, they ensure that both sides of a trade, both sides of an exchange are accurate and very specific and complete. Now, just imagine you go into exchange your dinar for US dollars. Both sides of that transaction has to be accurate. If you go into exchange 3 million dinar, depending on the rate, you expect the return to be accurate. For example, you go into exchange 3 million dinar, 2 million dinar, 1 million dinar, you don't expect to get a $500,000 in US dollars back. A smart contract. This is technology. Think of a smartphone. This smart contract is to make sure that when you exchange your currency, that you get the correct amount in return. When you go and exchange your dinar, to make sure that it's accurate. Smart contracts is technology to assure of this. This is the transparency of the quantum financial system. This is the transparency of smart contracts. This is the transparency that last Monday, August the 26th, when Iraq met with the Department of Treasury and the Federal Reserve, transparency was paramount and key on the agenda. Smart contracts are on the Ethereum platform. Some of you may not know what that means, but just listen and pay attention. And if you have questions, you're more than welcome to come into the Goldilocks QFS Dialogues room. We will do our best to educate you. Ripple is interfacing smart contracts onto the XRP ledger. Folks, in the new quantum financial system, this is where the middleman, which is the bank, is eliminated. You become the bank. You have a ledger to now be able to control your money. You have the power and control over your finances without the bank, which is the middleman, to control, manipulate, or any such activities such as anti-money laundering. Just think why that's being interfaced. Just think why these new regulations to protect our money and protect terrorists from being able to penetrate the financial system is important. These regulations that are being interfaced are to protect us in the quantum financial system and this money that you're about to be blessed with. So Goldilocks continues. Ripple and the broader XRP community are committed to introducing advanced programmability, including smart contracts, to the XRP ledger developer ecosystem. This move aims to provide builders, entrepreneurs, and users, which is us, with additional customability for a variety of use cases, accelerating innovation and attracting developers looking to leverage XRP's ledgers. Folks, let me tell you something. Iraq went live with Ripple partner Temenos in April of this year. That enables Iraq to move the DINAR globally in the quantum financial system. Now with Ripple soon to interface smart contracts, this enables the currency exchanges through Ethereum, because Ethereum is smart contracts. Our exchanges will be on the ethereal platform interlinked into Ripple. Goldilocks continues. Let's take a closer look at what this means in foreign currency exchanges. By putting smart contracts on the XRP ledger blockchain, this means you can go into a bank with a foreign currency in the new digital financial system, which is the QFS, and exchange that currency for another currency of your own country through the use of a smart contract. And that smart contract, which, folks, this is not a paper contract. This is not anything you have to sign. This is all digital, just like you have a smartphone, which is a new digital modern technology. Same thing with the smart contract in the banking system, in the quantum financial system, which enables us to exchange our currencies from one currency to another with the protection, the assurances, the power and control of you as an individual to know that your exchange is protected. A smart contract ensures that both sides of a trade have enough funds to fulfill the obligation owed. Pay attention. This is what Goldilocks is sharing. A smart contract ensures that both sides of your exchange have enough money to fulfill the obligation. Again, you go in to exchange 3 million. What if there's not enough and you only get 500,000 back? That is not an equal value. That is not correct. A smart contract, which is smart technology, is smart enough to make sure you get the just due and what you're owed in your exchange. And it can do so within a minute or two, utilizing what? The XRP blockchain, from whence Iraq is already connected to. Do you see where this is going, Goldilocks is asking you? This can all be done inside of a bank instantly. By the way, Goldilocks says, Iraq already has the capability of using this service at the present time. Do you remember Temenos, Ripple partner, when Iraq went live in April? Temenos has already gone live, folks. This is Ripple, has already gone live in Iraq. In the article, the link is in the description to see it for yourself. Temenos digital products are adaptable and scalable that will allow them to work inside an open banking system. This new upgrade that Ripple is doing with smart contracts. This will allow Iraq to trade with global financial institutions around the world. Just think about the meeting that Iraq had with the United States last week. And folks, that is not the first meeting. They've been meeting with the U.S. Treasury and Federal Reserve for quite some time. That meeting last week, there's no coincidence that it was with the U.S. Treasury, Federal Reserve, J.P. Morgan Chase, Citibank. These are two international banks. No coincidence with Ernst & Young, international auditing firms. No coincidence the discussion was about transparency, and as a result of the contract signed with the UST in Iraq and the digital transformation in Iraq, where Iraq will become independent of the Federal Reserve by the end of this year, transparency is paramount. So with Ripple interfacing smart contracts, this is the how our exchanges will be done. This is the how the smart contracts enables our exchanges to be done. Now you pair that, folks, with the regulations, pair that with the rules coming down, pair that with gold coming, pair that with everything else that we see happening in October with rules and regulations for our taxes, the taxes of the gains and the losses of a foreign currency exchange for anything, any currency, any amount over $200 from which you exchange will be taxed. These are new rules coming out in October. The banking system, the banks have new rules coming out in October for currency exchanges where they have to report, because they also must be transparent. The banking system for the exchanges. Can you see the interlinking? Transparency on the bank side, transparency on the consumer side who's doing the exchanges, transparency in the quantum financial system with the technology, such as the smart contracts, such as the Ripple interlinking the smart contracts on the XRP ledger. And the ledger, folks, is where we will be able to do our banking without having to deal with the banks per se, who's the middleman. Iraq is doing the same thing, removing the middleman by interlinking onto the quantum financial system. What if Iraq and the US are working in tandem? What if Iraq, the US, and the whole entire globe, all countries around the world, are working in tandem and in concert? Folks, you are literally witnessing the interlinking of the quantum financial system and the means for us to exchange our currencies. It's actually being disclosed. We are in the midst of disclosure, but it's not bam right in your face showing you and telling you. But when you pay attention to what's being shown and what's being shared, it's actually right in our face. They are actually laying it out for us through these articles from the Federal Register, from the CBI, Central Bank of Iraq, from Ripple. They're actually showing us that they are putting together the building blocks in preparation for this global event. And we have front stage. We are center stage, front row, watching it unfold. The blinders should be off. Hopefully we are doing enough to help you connect these dots. If you have questions, we are more than willing to help you in the Goldilocks QFS Dialogues room. Come on in. Put your feet up, kick your shoes off, ask some questions. We're here to help. We love you. We appreciate you. Be well, be kind, and show some unconditional love. Ciao. Hello, beautiful people. This is Freedom Fighter. Thank you for tuning into our channel, Goldilocks Global Banking News. Everybody knows that Goldilocks is the #1 source for the RVGCR. People from around the world tune in to see what Goldilocks is sharing on the RVGCR. Don't miss your chance and get your latest updates every day. So like, share, and subscribe to this channel to get your daily podcast from the Goldilocks articles on the RVGCR. Brought to you by Freedom Fighter.